Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about drug utilization review. So, what is a drug utilization review? See, the term itself indicates here we are going to review the drugs are being used, right? Right. Going into it, what is a drug utilization review? Okay. So, in today's class, we are going to see what is your drug utilization review and how it is important and why it is important in present days scenario of patient medication use, or how can this one will be useful to reduce microbial resistance or antimicrobial resistance, or how can we go for giving the prescription appropriately. So everything we'll be seeing in this today's class, right? Yeah. So what is drug utilization review, right? So a drug utilization review is an authorized, structured and ongoing review process which is designed for prescribing, dispensing, and use of medication. So specifically, your drug utilization review is designed for seeing how the prescriptions are being made, how the dispenses are being done, and how the medications are being used. So here, we'll be checking mostly with the term prescribing and dispensing. Okay. So yeah, so in your drug utilization review, what we are going to do is, here we are going to see a drug review means the prescribed drug against the predetermined criteria. The prescribed drugs against the predetermined criteria means whether the drug is meeting the criteria or not, means whether the prescription or the drugs which have been prescribed to the patient is according to the guidelines or not, according to the set of the guidelines or not, that we are going to see. Okay. So to do this one, what we are going to do here is we are going to have a comprehensive review process. We are going to have a comprehensive review process of a patient prescription and medication data, right? So when we say prescription, so we have to catch hold, we have to see the prescription at the time of before dispensing, during medication use, and after dispensing. I can say before, during, and after dispensing. So means before dispensing sense, the doctor writes a prescription, right? It has to reach to the pharmacist for dispensing. So what a clinical pharmacist has to do here is he has to scan the prescription before he dispense for any drug-drug interactions or any drug duplications or any drug allergies. Okay. Or during it means when the person is being used the medication for any adverse drug reactions, and after dispensing means after using the medicine, we'll be seeing the prescription patterns, right? So these things will be help a pharmacist and the doctor to make an appropriate medical decisions. Okay. Next, as a quality assurance measure, DU program even provides corrective actions and prescription feedbacks. So you'll be getting a prescriber will get feedback also for just checking how the prescriptions are being dispensed. Is there any things need to be improved, right? So now we'll be seeing why a DUR, a drug utilization review, is important nowadays. Means how can it help? How can it help in providing updated guidelines or standard treatment and improved patient quality of life, right? So DUE plays a key role in manage healthcare people to understand the system of a hospital and to understand system of the treatment, why and how, based on what criteria the doctor is prescribing. Okay. So then when you understand it, then you go for interpreting it. So doctor said based upon this guidelines, supposing hypertension, JNC 7 guidelines or JNT 10 guidelines. So here use JNC set of guidelines for prescribing, or followed JNC 7 guidelines for prescribing of the medication to the people, right? So you'll be taking that data, you will interpret that one, you will evaluate, means you will review it. Whether, when a patient said, take an example here, if patient is having postural hypotension and patient's age is 65 or 70, right? So you cannot, if patient is have hypertension, you cannot reduce the patient's hypertension to less than 130 by 90 or 95, because the patient is already having postural hypertension. You have to maintain the BP of the patient to at 130 by 90 or 130 by 95. Instead of that, if you reduce the BP to 120 by 80, obviously the patient will be having low hypertension. He will be having certain other complications there. So that's why you have to manage the care. You have to understand when doctor has given the treatment, what parameters or what guidelines he has followed. So when we say he followed these guidelines, okay, does this guideline say same? If person is of age and is having postural hypertension, what is the BP which we have to maintain for that specific patient? So this kind of thing should be checked. Okay. So for all these things, your pharmacist can play a major role here. Why I'm saying pharmacist means he is considered as the expert of medicines. He is considered as the expert of medication therapy management. That's why we'll be saying the pharmacists are well valued and well reputed in US or Australia or UK, right? So again, the DUR programs offers a managed pharmacy care to seek an opportunity to identify the trends in prescribing in a group of people. Here, in the sense, a group of people, like take about a patient who is having hypertension, asthma, diabetes, or blood pressure. So whenever you see the prescription pattern in this group of people or cohort group of people, what happens? They will be having a pattern of treatment guidelines. Like whenever you see a patient is having hypertension with kidney disease, okay, you'll be giving a class of drugs. When patient is having hypertension with liver disease, you'll be giving another kind of drugs. When patient is having hypertension with heart attack, you'll be giving beta blockers or ACE inhibitors, some other drugs. So here there will be a pattern in a group of people. Whenever you are prescribing a disease, whenever you're prescribing a drugs, there will be a pattern of it, how on what basis they are giving. So here the pharmacist, when he speaks, when he collects the data, when he review it, he will be having a specific data of it, right? Next, when pharmacists have the knowledge of all these things, then what he can do is he can collaborate with a prescriber and other members of healthcare team in an improving action for a proper therapeutic care, improving action to a proper therapeutic care. Next, what does your DUR serves means, how your DUR helps, or in which way your DUR help means, it will help in improving quality care for a patient. Okay, so it will help in enhancing therapeutic outcomes. It will help in reducing inappropriate pharmaceutical expenditures. Next, it will help in reducing overall healthcare cost. It will help in reducing overall healthcare cost. So now we will see how it's going to do this, right? So improving the quality of patient care. So how can we see improving the quality of patient care means, take an example of your documentation review, one of your activity of your clinical pharmacist. Consider patient has been prescribed with 2 doses of same drug. So I want to share one of my experience when I was an intern in my hospital. So what happened? We used to do prescription audits, means before the doctor, what we call as the patient receives the medicines, we used to do audits for outpatient. But for inpatient, what used to happen is we used to do the audits after giving it, because when you see inpatients, they'll be having a rounds like morning, afternoon, evening. So we don't be having continuous things to go and check every time. So what we'll be doing is every day afternoon, we used to see the prescriptions, like even the doctor prescribed in the morning or yesterday's night, we'll be seeing the whole day's rotation, means from today afternoon to next day afternoon, or for yesterday's afternoon to this day afternoon, what are the medication given to the patient by the doctor. So at the time of searching, what we found out, it's not me, our team, like we had 4 students, right, in a team. So what we found out, a patient has been given paracetamol. Patient has given paracetamol 650 mg, right, 3 times. Given paracetamol 650 mg 3 times. Okay. Along with that, he has been given, here it was 650 mg. Along with that, he has been given 1 gram. He's been given 1 gram of IV paracetamol 3 times. So what's happening here? 650 mg oral 3 times and 1 gram IV 3 times. So what is the total dose? It's 4.65 grams for a patient who is admitted inpatient. Yes, this is obviously wrong. So what we have done, we just went and reported to the doctor immediately whenever we found. Luckily, what happened? What we call as just 1 hour before only he has just prescribed that one. Then he said, "Yeah, by mistake I have done this in an urgency like that." He said, right? So these kind of things will happen. We cannot blame anyone. These kind of things will happen. So this is how can provide a quality care to the patient. Supposing if you didn't identify, we didn't check it properly, the patient will be taking 4.6 grams of paracetamol per day. So one day, maybe because it will take the time to go for even toxic effects also. So when he lowered the dose, supposing if you consider these two things, 3 times means, so morning he'll get 1 gram of paracetamol 650 mg means morning 1.65 grams of paracetamol, afternoon and night. Whenever he go for night dose, next day morning, obviously there will be ADRs or toxic effects to the liver of the patient, right? So we try to control it, right? So that is the one thing. And apart from this, yeah, this is how you can provide a quality care. Not only this, there's so many things. I just given one example. The next one is enhancing the therapeutic outcomes. So how can you enhance the therapeutic outcomes? So here one of the example which I want to give here is, so this same like the example which I given there. So whenever you see your warfarin or low molecular heparin or some other things, so this drug should be given according to the weight of the person, not just the formulation whichever is available. So yeah, fixed dose formulations are available, but we have to see the patient's weight and we have to do the calculations, right? So what happened here? The patient has been given warfarin. He has been given according to the dose and all, that's right. But what happened? The patient was taking NSAIDs for his joint pains previously. Previous in sense, he was taking continuously, but doctor didn't notice that one, and he has given this warfarin also. So what happens when you give warfarins along with any of the treatment of arthritis medicine? There might be a chance of increase bleeding. We are not saying bleeding will happen definitely, but there might be a chance of increase in bleeding, right? That's the one of the thing which we found out at that time when we are in internship, right? So like this we can enhance the therapeutic outcomes, right? Next one, to reducing inappropriate pharmaceutical expenditures or reduce overall healthcare outcomes. So sorry, healthcare costs. So how one of the examples which I want to give here is, whenever you see, like we have seen one example for this inappropriate pharmaceutical expenditure. One of the example for this one here is, so if patient is newly diagnosed, de novo diagnosed of hypertension, if patient is newly diagnosed with hypertension, instead of giving AC inhibitors, which are costly drugs, if there is no contraindications, or if possible, we can give thiazide diuretics to the patient by the part of treatment, because the diuretics are less in cost. But we have to see the indications. The patient is having any problem related, contraindication related to kidney or renal problem, is there any other thing? Or if patient is having diabetes, so that thing also we have to check. You have to see that one, right? And other thing, example for reducing overall healthcare cost. So if you do all the interventions, whatever you have done, obviously the patient will recover quickly. And when he recover quickly, he can go back home quickly, and will be reducing the length of stay in hospital. So obviously he is paying less. So instead of generally, when he's at hospitals, even if it is a two-share room, he has to pay almost 2,500 per day or 3,000 based upon the hospitals minimum. We are saying that one. And apart from that, one more normal example I want to give you for this reducing overall healthcare cost. So what's happening here is, when you see your normal saline things, your 500 ml or 100 ml or 250 ml, there are different companies which produce 100 ml of normal saline bottles, right? Like generic drugs and brand drugs. So what happens here, whenever you see the rate of 100 ml NS normal saline produced by the Nirlife, Baxter and some other companies, those are a different price. those are at different price. So whenever we are practicing in that hospital, we found out, so to the inpatients, they used to give a different brand of thing, and for outpatients, I mean generally persons who will come for what you call as dialysis, like every day or day after, the people used to come for dialysis. So whenever we just see that one, the people, the amount of the Nidlife prepared normal saline and Baxter prepared normal saline, there is a difference. There is a difference, right? So then we approach our head, why we are giving this? Why can't we go for only low cost of medicine? Then he said, yeah, we should have all the things, not only low cost or high cost, we should have all mediums, because some people will opt for only those kind of high cost or some other reasons is there. So we cannot go with only the low cost medicines. We should have low cost medicines and we should have brand and generic both. That's how it's work in a pharmacy, right? But thereafter, what we have done is, most of the people, whenever we were at the time of dispensing and all, we used to give that less cost thing. Yes, even if it is less cost, efficacy is there. It's just a normal saline, not an issue, not an issue. Even if you give 50 rupees one or 60 rupees one, 70 rupees one, that's fine. It's not an issue. So like this, you can just plan here. Okay. Next, value of your DUR program. So what do you think the value of a DUR program is? So your DUR programs allows to compare and contrast the healthcare cost of the people. The healthcare cost of the people when we are providing the treatment of different drugs of different costs and drugs of different brands, right? So here the information or data which you are going to get from drug utilization review program. So it will allows you to compare and contrast the prescriber's approach to drug discovery. Prescriber's approach to the treatments. So what approach the prescriber is following in prescribing certain drugs, like we discussed in previous class, if the people are from less socioeconomic class, or if they are not really living in certain highly sanitized and properly sanitized areas, those people are more prone to get certain disease conditions, and even they are more prone to get resistant to some of the bacteria. So why I'm saying this one is, so I have read, I think I already told you, I read an article in 2014 or 15, which says the groundwater which the people drinks in certain areas of, I don't want to say the reason name. So that groundwater is having antibiotics in it at a less levels, not high level, less levels. So what happens whenever you keep on taking any one thing, it will lose its efficacy. That's what we say. Don't go for irrational use of antibiotics or any drugs. See, every drug is chemical. You cannot go for irrational prescription, or you cannot go for simply using, okay, so I got infection, like flu-like symptoms, I'll just take azithromycin, I will take one paracetamol, I'll take one aceclofenac, treatment will be completed, no need of going to the doctor. If you think like this without proper knowledge, without consulting the doctor, obviously you are going to end up in antibiotic resistance, and you will be in the trouble, right? Next, so all these interventions, whichever you are going to do, that will be obviously helpful in improving patient care, right? Next, so whenever you see certain interventions, so your informations assist in manage healthcare systems, and PBMS means pharmacist-based managements, like going for ward rounds, taking patients' medication history and all. So DUR information helps this manage healthcare and PBMS system in conducting educational programs. What? In conducting educational programs, right? So what are those educational programs which are useful? Means the educational programs will be helpful in rational prescription, formulary compliance, means that is prescribing according to the compliance, and patient compliance, right? So with these things, what happen when we have educational programs like class or online sessions or offline sessions, they'll be having a face-to-face education interaction with prescribers or physicians or other group of people. Where we have a face-to-face interaction, there will be a high chance of involvement or explaining, or where we can pass on more information whenever we have face-to-face contact, right? So if that is not possible, we are going to use our telephones, our letters, or some other educational symposiums. It can be anything. Anything will be done to improve the prescription patterns for better patient care, right? So next one is this.